Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News with me, James Dunn. On tonight's show, how small changes can make a big difference to your health. And we talk to the North East Lincolnshire Council Portfolio Holder for Health on obesity in the borough. And finally, Tom Reed brings you the results of the weekend's sport. But first, here's Emma Lingard with the news headlines.
Hello, the headlines today. 385 new homes could get the go-ahead in Humberston. The homeless in Scunthorpe get a new shelter, and swapping sugars for healthier options is being urged of the people in Hull. Plans to build 385 homes in Humberston now look set to go ahead after the council refused planning permission last year. North East Lincolnshire Council announced it would not defend the developer's appeal as issues have since been resolved, so it would be unlikely to win. It will now be up to the Secretary of State to decide if the impact on the area outweighs the benefits. But if an inquiry goes ahead, members will have the chance to have their say at Grimsby Town Hall on February the 11th. Homeless people in Scunthorpe will have a new shelter when Place of Change opens its doors next month. The building will provide self-contained flats for up to 20 people and give them a chance to sort their lives out before moving on. The service will be operated by Creative Support and is modelled on the government's Homelessness Change programme. Today, an appeal starts into the siting of 3 wind turbines in the area of Tetney. Over 30 wind turbines are proposed in total between Humberston and Ludborough. The appeal is set to last for 6 days, and the Marsh Wind Farm Action Group have been set up objecting to the applications. Not-for-profit organisations are being sought to back a campaign to boost investment in training and skills within the region. Organised by the Humber Local Enterprise Partnership, the Humber Skills campaign was set up to help create jobs and improve the region's economy. The first meeting will take place next week in Bishop Burton. With the new year now in full swing, people in Hull are being urged to make healthier choices when it comes to food. The National Smart Swaps campaign roadshow has been in the city, aiming to encourage people to make one easy swap to help cut sugar and fat from their everyday snacks, drinks and meals, with free supermarket money-off vouchers on offer.
Choosing alternatives that are family favourites, that will still taste great and the children will still like, but will make a difference to health.
A footbridge over the A63 Castle Street could be built to provide a vital link between certain areas in Hull when it's City of Culture in 2017. The Highways Agency has launched a consultation with interested parties on the iconic structure at Prince's Quay, and Hull City Council has welcomed the proposal. It's part of a wider scheme to improve the congested Castle Street area, which could cost up to £192 million. A Boost Bingo campaign has the backing of Hull North Labour MP Diana Johnson. The campaign is calling for the government to bring tax on bingo in line with other popular leisure pursuits. The industry is currently subjected to a 20% bingo duty, whereas most other gambling activities are fixed at 15%. A recent survey said 61% of adults feel bingo clubs are an important part of the community. Vegetables seem not to be top of the list for people in our region, according to a survey. Only 10% eat 5 or more portions of vegetables a day, according to the British Association for Applied Nutrition and Nutritional Therapy. The over 55s eat the most vegetables, while only 7% of 18 to 24-year-olds consume 5 or more a day. A new school crossing patrol will open on Lakeside Parkway in Scunthorpe. The crossing has been put in place following an increase in the number of pupils attending nearby St Peter and St Paul's Primary School. St Albans Church in Hull has received a £10,000 grant from the National Churches Trust. The Grade 2 listed building will now be able to have its roof repaired on the north and south aisles. HMS Grimsby sails into port at the end of the week. The Royal Navy Minehunter will be open to the public on Saturday from 9:30 to 3:30. And while in town, the ship's crew will be involved in other events, including a football match with Humberside Police. And that's all from me. Until next time, goodbye.
Thanks, Emma. Now, are you one of the thousands of people trying to shed some of those Christmas pounds? If so, there's plenty of advice out there, and a new scheme is helping people in Hull make those small changes necessary. And you could do the same to give yourself a healthier future. Erica Barker went to find out more.
With New Year upon us, many of us are deciding to opt for a healthier lifestyle, to feel better and to shed those pounds. Smart Swaps is a campaign that aims to encourage people to make one easy swap to help cut sugar and fat from their everyday snacks, drinks and meals. People who sign up will receive a Smart Swapper pack with money off vouchers for healthier products at Aldi, Lidl, Asda and the cooperative stores. In Hull, around 37% of 10 to 11-year-olds are overweight, and Hull City Council's Director of Public Health, Julia Weldon, says something must be done.
And we want to turn that around, because if we don't, what that means is those children and young people are going to grow up to adults who are overweight and obese, and that risks diabetes, heart disease and stroke, and reduces life expectancy. What we don't want to do is make things difficult. So it's not about going to different shops to the ones you'd normally go to. It's about choosing alternatives that are family favourites, that will still taste great and the children will still like, but will make a difference to health.
And it's hoped that by making simple swaps, it'll be one New Year's resolution that everyone can stick to. Erica Barker, Estuary TV.
Thank you, Erica. Help to make a change is ever more important as Britain is in the midst of an obesity crisis. So here with me today I have North East Lincolnshire Council's portfolio holder for health, Councillor Peter Wheatley, to talk about what local authorities can do to help tackle the problem. Welcome, Peter. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So first of all, obesity is something that affects Britain increasingly, and I just wondered really, I mean, I've got some statistics here from NHS England that say in our county, 19.1% of children at the age of 11 are now obese. I mean, is this something that's becoming more and more of a problem?
I do believe that it's one of the largest problems that the 21st century was going to face with regard to obesity throughout the whole of the world. There's been reports just recently with regard to the way in which there's over 2 million people in Great Britain alone that would actually qualify for national health surgery to help them combat obesity, which is a lot of people. That would come out something in the region about 450 people in North East Lincolnshire alone that would be capable of going on to this NHS scheme. So it is a big problem, and I think it's actually got to get worse if we don't address the situation pretty soon.
And where I was just talking a moment ago about obesity in young people. I mean,
yes.
Is this something we need to tackle, and how do we do this?
I think that the figure you used was 19.1, which is about on the national average, but that doesn't mean to say that is good.
It's roughly 1 in 5, isn't it, really?
Is overweight. And especially with regard to the young children, what we've got to try and do is A, encourage them to be more aware of the diets that they have, and B, more aware of what physical activity can do to reduce the obesity rates throughout the 1 in 5 children that's at the moment recognised as being obese.
But there's been talk of this for quite some time. How do we actually do it? How do we educate these young people and show them what these things mean, what their diet, what exercise means to them?
Well, that is one of the areas in which, as Chairman of Health and Wellbeing Board, that I'm hopeful that we'll be able to tackle. Public health has now come back into the arena of the local government, which is good. It's
before
just
it was
arrived.
Centrally.
It was centrally before. It has now come back into the arena of local government, which is good because now we can look at addressing local problems with the amount of funding that was put there, and that is what we intend to try and do. And in the next budget round, we're looking towards increasing the amount of money that we're going to put into leisure services so that we can actually encourage people to go on to the treadmill, to go on to the different activities that are available throughout our leisure services. And actually, if we can get the doctors, because that's really where it is, their GPs, who can write them a prescription to go to these places and we can do something about it, because the budget now is going to be in there so that for the next year we'll be able to utilise the services that the council have got, and they're quite significant.
So if people do realise that they do have a problem, there's a problem with their weight, they need to change their lives, where can they go? Is there someone from the council that will help them?
We do have the facilities where they can go to the council if they just like to ring 313131. They will be able to be put forward and put through to some advisors who will enable them to get on with the advice they require.
What sort of services can they use?
Well, as I've said, they can use the leisure services for a start, but there are other services that we can give through education and advice with regard to the kind of things that are not so good for you. And I was reading a report with regard to fructose, which is in some of these drinks for children, which have got so much fructose in them that if they have too much, it creates fat in their own bodies.
Do you think people often aren't aware of maybe what's in things?
I don't think they are aware of some of the things that are actually creating this obese
and is it a case
problem.
of we need people to look at the packaging more, or does it need to be flagged more?
I think that the packaging has got to become a recognisable one-size-fits-all. We've got different packaging and different instructions on some of the...
So it should be a lot
So
clearer.
I think it should be clear, and I think it should be standardised. All this red, green and amber on one, and the other it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And all this is wrong. Well, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it could be made more clear.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for that today, Peter. Now from obesity, we're now going on to the weekend sport. Here's Tom Reed with the results from Saturday and Sunday last week.
Thanks, James. Grimsby drew 2-2 with Gateshead in the Skrill Premier, with Paul Bignot's header equalising, having fallen behind 2-1 after Clayton MacDonald gave the Mariners the lead. In the Conference North, North Ferriby drew 4-4 against Histon at Church Road, with Lewis Taft scoring an 82nd minute equaliser for the visitors. Former Mariner Ryan Bennett scored the only goal for Norwich against Hull, who had Tom Huddleston sent off for 2 bookings. Scunthorpe are 2 points clear of Rochdale and Burton after their 0-0 draw against Wimbledon in League 2. In the Evo Stick Northern Premier, Brigg Town needed a last-minute penalty from Elliot Broughton as they won 2-1 against Sheffield FC. Elsewhere, Daniel King Bishingu scored a consolation goal for Goole as they lost 5-1 against Belper Town. Tool Station Northern Counties East League Division 1. Cleethorpes Town lost 2-1 to Knaresborough Town in the Tool Station Northern Counties East League Division 1. Louis Grant's 52nd minute strike gave Cleethorpes the lead, but unfortunately Knaresborough hit back with goals from Colin Heath and Dave Thomas. Meanwhile, Louth's winless run continues as they lost 2-1 away to Hemsworth Miners, with Callum Hyland getting the White Wolves' goal. Lincoln Moorlands Railway lost 8-1 to Tadcaster Albion in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division, despite equalising in the 42nd minute. In ice hockey, Hull Stingrays beat Dundee Stars 4-2, setting a new club record of 6 victories in a row. In rugby union, Grimsby lost 17-27 to Southwell in the Midlands 3 East North League. Cleethorpes registered a convincing 24-0 win at home, but Market Raisin and Louth left Northampton empty-handed after losing 24-13. In lacrosse, Hull for the second week in a row lost by a single goal margin, this time at home to Liverpool. Lincoln remained without a win, but drew another high-scoring game, on this occasion 10-10 away to Ashton. That's all from me.
Thanks, Tom. Now, don't forget, if you know of any local stories or issues, you can get in touch by phone on Grimsby 315561, on Facebook or Twitter at Estuary TV, or email us on news@estuary.tv. That's it from us tonight. We'll see you next time.